Greetings. I'm Sister Mary Paula McCarthy of the Visitation of Holy Mary in the Minneapolis Monastery. I invite you to come with me on a virtual pilgrimage, traveling to the lush vineyard area of Burgundy, France. We transcend time as well as space, finding ourselves in mid-17th century. Much of Catholic France has been caught up in the false doctrine of Jansenism, which focuses on sin and guilt, demanding rigorous asceticism. There, in 1647, Margaret Alacoque is born in southern Burgundy, experiencing in her youth much poverty and illness, as well as deep prayer and visions, which she assumes are ordinary for everyone. In 1671, 24-year-old Margaret Mary enters the Visitation Monastery in nearby Paray-le-Monial. Very soon in 1673, on the feast of the Apostle John, who once rested on the heart of Jesus, she receives a vision of Jesus displaying that heart on which she is able to lay her head. He discloses the wonders of his love, which he asks Margaret Mary to make known to all humankind. For the next year and a half, Jesus speaks many times to her of his universal but unrequited love. He requests a number of devotions to honor this great love. The superior of the community is slow in coming to believe in the revelations of this young sister. Theologians assume she is hallucinating and declare, "Give her more soup." The sisters in community find her singular and cause her much suffering. Eventually, Margaret Mary receives the support of Claude de la Colombière, S.J., the community's confessor. Convinced of the authenticity of her visions, he helps her to spread the message of the love of Jesus. After over 10 years, opposition in the community ends when Margaret Mary becomes assistant superior and mistress of novices. At her request, the novices carry out the very first celebration of the Sacred Heart. It includes a plaque picturing the human divine heart and becomes the typical iconographic emblem in portrayals of Margaret Mary. The Visitation Monastery of Paray begins to honor the Sacred Heart privately, celebrating a feast and dedicating a small chapel on the grounds. From there, devotion spreads to make the whole world aware of the burning love of the heart of Christ for all humankind. Margaret Mary, having completed her mission as Apostle of the Sacred Heart, dies on October 17th, 1690. As this humble sister would have wished, her own sanctity is not officially revered until her canonization in 1920, a full 230 years after her death. We now fast forward our virtual pilgrimage to the world of today. 17th century people were caught up in a God as a stern taskmaster. Many people today live far from that concept, ignoring God, reveling in self-indulgence and violence. Our world of greed, conflict, and systemic racism is just as much in need now of the message of Christ's love. Let us listen to some of Jesus' words transmitted to the world through St. Margaret Mary Alacoque. My divine heart is so inflamed with love for humankind that, being unable any longer to contain within itself the flames of burning charity, it must spread them abroad. Thank you for joining me on this pilgrimage to Paris-le-Monial in France, where we have met St. Margaret Mary Alacoque and learned through her the message of love from the heart of Jesus.